So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to follow up on another video I did, which was about this topic. This video from Moist Critical here, delusional healthcare CEO, where Moist Critical is molding another healthcare CEO making a video, a PR statement, trying to calm down the tensions because, well, a healthcare CEO was gunned down in cold blood, and people like Moist Critical are saying, well, they kind of had it coming because in this video, Moist Critical is coming down in such a radical way against the healthcare company that people like myself who aren't insane have to come out and actually defend the healthcare company, which is not at all what I want to do because I think the healthcare companies are awful. But this guy is actually out there saying that he believes, and I want you to listen to him in his own words, that the healthcare companies are actually killing people. Listen.
Are looking for coverage for a very expensive medical procedure and they say no and that person dies because they no longer could afford that medical procedure that would have saved their life, then that is the insurance provider fundamentally killing that person.
So there you have it from Moist Critical himself. He thinks that the denial of coverage is the insurance company basically going out there and killing that person. So for Moist Critical's worldview, and by the way, it's a messed up worldview, this is also a guy that lost a debate with Sneeko because he believes in transing 9-year-olds. Um, Fundamentally, he believes that the insurance companies are responsible for the loss of life. It doesn't put any blame on the hospitals. The hospital's not just doing the surgery and comping it. No, it's just the insurance companies. The insurance companies are to blame. The insurance companies are out there killing people, which is dangerous rhetoric. It's insane. It's demented. You know, I don't want to be here defending the insurance companies, but the fact of the matter is this: the costs from the hospital are too high. The costs of the procedures are too high. The insurance company is wrong. The hospital is wrong. The government is wrong. They're all wrong. But this guy, if somebody were to go and gun down somebody from the Health and Human Services, this guy, I don't think he would be as ready to just say, well, absolutely, that's understandable. In my other video, I also mentioned the fact that there are a lot of people that think that trans surgeries are evil. They think that doing that to a kid. Most Critical doesn't agree with that because he believes in giving 9-year-olds HRT and transitioning them, castrating them. He believes that they should be able to consent to that, basically, at that age, to start mutilating themselves and castrating themselves and taking away their future. He believes that, and that's why he lost his debate with Sneeko, which is something I didn't even think was possible. But he believes in that. But if somebody like myself were to make a video on, somebody went and was very passionate and very angry, and they went down and they ended the life of one of these doctors that performed a surgery, or if they went and gunned down the administrator of a hospital, that ran these surgeries. And if I were to come before you and say, well, yeah, these surgeries are evil, and they're basically killing these kids because they're sterilizing them, they're ending their lineage. If I came up with a logic that was as immoral and convoluted as what he's putting out here, he wouldn't let me get away with it. No, he would say that's absolutely wrong because it's all entirely subjective to him, and that's why we need to have a standard. There needs to be a standard for the stuff that we don't endorse killing people. Now, that leads me into what I really want to get to in this video because I think that in my last video I didn't do a good enough job talking about this. And that is that there has been a surge of basically glorifying violence. And this is an almost exclusively left phenomenon. And we see this with Grums, Mark Kern, and we see this with Elon Musk. If you go to the degenerate pedophile hideout known as Blue Sky, You notice that a lot of these left wing freaks are glorifying ending the life of Elon Musk with gifs and pictures, and also Mark Kern. Mark Kern has earned the ire of a lot of different mentally ill freaks. These people post gifs of the healthcare CEO being gunned down, and they superimpose Mark Kern's head on it. I've seen this multiple times, shared across multiple videos, um, and multiple Twitter timelines. And it really needs to be reinforced that no matter what an emotional outburst you're having, and Moist Critical is definitely having an emotional outburst here because he cares about this issue, not enough to actually try to do anything about it, but apparently it's okay to endorse murder if you care enough about a topic. Because in his worldview, the insurance companies are basically killing people. You heard him say it in his own words. Them denying the coverage is tantamount to ending the life. Just ignoring the fact that the hospital could, they could do the procedure for free. The hospital could, petition the government, lobby the government to help try to lower prices, or citizens could do that. Moist Critical could do that. Get together all of his streamer friends, and they could put together some kind of charity event where they try to bring awareness to lower costs. I can't do that because I'm not an insider, nor would I want to be with people like Moist Critical in there because I think that they're insane. I think that they're absolutely deranged. On this topic, there's no question. When you are out there trying to turn this guy who murdered an innocent man in cold blood, and he is an innocent man. Moist Critical doesn't know who the CEO is. I don't know who the CEO is. But to turn him into this caricature, this villain who's going around and killing people, I think is insane. But here's what it is. I think that what's happening to Mark Kern, especially, is unconscionable. And it's people using Moist Critical's mindset here. That I think this person is doing a net bad. I think this person is doing damage to, whether it's their cult-like ideology or whether it's the mental health mental health in quotations of people like them. Whatever it happens to be, they're they're trying to normalize violence against people as a quote unquote meme. And this isn't like, Looney Tunes, you hit somebody with a mallet. This is a very recent execution, and they're putting Mark Kern's face on the guy who got shot. They are actively doing this. I don't know if Moist Critical is aware of this. I don't know if he would even care. I doubt it. Um, but they're also doing this for Elon Musk. And so what we have here is a very clear moral delineation. I don't like insurance companies. I don't like the way they conduct business. I would agree with Moist Critical in that way. But where we deviate is how you go about solving this problem. Moist Critical in this video thinks that the way that you solve the problem is by making them into a huge boogeyman and excusing violence against them because, after all, they're out there murdering people. This other CEO, this guy here, this guy puts out a video. It's a PR statement, basically saying, hey, we're here to help people. Like a PR statement to try to tone down rhetoric because somebody just got shot. And Moist Critical was actually, he was actually irritated that this guy would come out and basically say, please stop killing us. Like, it is so incredible to me that we live in a time where these content creators are made famous. They are the most worthless, degenerate, low IQ people I've ever seen. And don't think I'm just picking on Charlie here. I'm also talking about Hassan, of course. Hassan is a terrorist supporter, one of the most genuinely evil and disgusting people I've ever seen. But here's the difference. I actually don't endorse. I don't endorse any harm to befall Hassan or Charlie or any of these people because it's a clear moral delineation. If somebody were to shoot Hassan, I would be here to say that's absolutely unacceptable. I wouldn't be here playing, hey guys, Moist Critical here. His son got sent to the Shadow Realm. Man, what an evil terrorist supporter he was. Can you believe this guy's radical rhetoric led to people being harmed in real life? It's like, God, my impression of him sounds more like Patrick Star from SpongeBob. Now I'm doing it. Now I'm making SpongeBob references. But the fact is that this guy and what he puts out there, I think, is part of a culture that has become far too comfortable with the sort of rhetoric that we need to get away from. And that sort of rhetoric is, I don't like this thing. I really don't like this thing. So I'm going to downplay something bad that happened to it. I don't think that's the right way to go. I don't think that is the appropriate response. I think we need to be better as a civil society than that. Because as I said, as I mentioned, there are people who I would consider to be on quote unquote my side, who would agree with me about um, the absolutely appalling and disgusting nature of what the healthcare industry does to trans people, who deserve our compassion and our support by trying to get them comfortable with the reality that they are not in an opposite body. There is no such thing as being in the opposite body. You are in your body. And so, yeah, instead of getting people comfortable with that and trying to make them okay with themselves, the healthcare industry puts them through a lifelong assembly line where they're always going to have to be taking pills and doing things to mutilate their body, sterilizing themselves, robbing themselves of their future. If somebody on my side were to be like, okay, well, this is an evil and you're harming people and you're ending people's lives and you're depriving them of their family and they're so distraught from this that they end up, ending themselves. Um, I have a duty to go out and do something about it. The difference between Most Critical and myself is clearly I wouldn't downplay what happened because that's not good. The way that you do that is ironically like what Matt Walsh did. Yeah, Matt Walsh put out a video. He went and spoke in front of a congressional hearing. He talked about the issue. He brought, the issue to the forefront. And he talked about these healthcare institutions that were, that were doing this stuff to kids. And, he, bringing awareness to it, he did a lot of good. But he wouldn't have done any good. It would have been a complete betrayal to the cause if he decided, I am morally outraged by this, so I'm going to go and do something about it. And I'm sick of seeing this as it relates to Grums. I'm sick of seeing this as it relates to Elon Musk, where it's sort of becoming normal for these freaks to go out there and do this. And we saw this in response to the verdict with Daniel Penny, that hero who stopped an unhinged madman from attacking a pregnant woman on the subway. A guy who didn't feel like I can't stand by puts the guy in a chokehold. Now you've got Black Lives Matter. You've got these low IQ violent retards that are going out there saying there's no justice because he was acquitted, and that we should burn down buildings and all that same sort of Black Lives Matter rhetoric. And so, unfortunately, those people are of the same sort of mindset as Moist Critical on this. That if I don't like this thing enough, then I can downplay the negative consequences of violence and, destruction and radicalism. And I don't think that radicalism is the answer. I think if you want to do a lot of good for this cause, I think you bring awareness to it. There's nothing to stop Moist Critical from doing an event. Hey, Hey guys, most critical here. Hey, we're gonna have this big event to bring awareness to the issue with the healthcare industry. Lots of people are needing help. Like, why wouldn't? I mean, there's so many different things that you could do, especially in his position. But the last thing in the world that you should do is, hey guys, most critical here. Man, wasn't it funny when that CEO got sent to the Shadow Realm? Man, this guy I could totally understand. Like framing it in the way that he does, and it's the same thing with these leftists on Twitter. It's an obnoxious, annoying, unhealthy way of viewing the situation instead of doing things in the proper way. Instead of bringing legislation to make this illegal. I mean, Aiden Ross did a stream with Donald Trump. I'm sure that Aiden Ross has Donald Trump's number. Moist, swallow your pride, your anti-Trump deranged leftist pride, and give Aiden Ross a call and see if he can't get in touch with Trump, and maybe you could do a sit down with Trump. I mean, who knows? The world is a crazy place. Maybe you could have a conversation with Trump. I mean, if Joe Rogan can do it, and maybe you could bring this topic up, like, hey, these insurance companies are doing real damage. Maybe you can actually be a leader on this issue. Instead, you come here, you use baby brain imbecile terminology for your retard audience, and then on top of that, you're actually downplaying the fact that this guy, I think his name is Luigi, which God, this guy Luigi, um, you can actually bring some real help to this issue. But instead, you're more comfortable just glorifying somebody who ended somebody in cold blood. There was no justice to this. There's no upside to this. There's no benefit to this, and there never is. It was a completely deranged and unhinged move. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. I appreciate you watching. See you next time.